with another episode of the Overrated Experience Sports and Sports Betting Podcast. And as you have, if you followed us for weeks on end, we are focusing on the NFL. We're not limited to the NFL. Well, we'll touch base in a couple baseball signings that may have put the balance of power still with the Dodgers, by the way. I got to believe that. But some interesting talking points. But we're going to focus on divisional weekend NFL. We are 2 steps away from knowing who's going to be our Super Bowl champion. We're going to talk it through. We got a lot to talk about. Follow us on X at Overrated EXPER2. That's Overrated EXPER2. And we'll get you ready for the rest of the weekend. 4 matchups, Saturday, Sunday. Woo! We're ready to go, Bills. Bills Mafia here, 4:30 Denver. Buffalo's rocking. We know that's happening. Tables are breaking. Furniture stores are loading up an inventory to replace those kitchen tables for the Bills Mafia and the flaming tables. Of course, we have Austin from Ajax back. He will have a concrete fact later in the show. Say hi.
How's it going, folks?
And a surprise guest in honor of the Bills run and Josh Allen's story. We have H. Dilla. Here we go. Woo! Bills Mafia, how you been doing?
Been good, man. Just very excited again. Hopefully this is the year, but just taking it one game at a time.
You know what's funny? If we do this podcast 3 hours from now, this conservative response would have been he would have a shirt off through a table at the moment, especially if the Bills take the win. Are we going to get more of a wild H. Dilla before the podcast is done here?
We should do one after the game.
Oh.
And we'll see how that goes.
All right. What are you drinking up there?
Got a nice little called Sapporo.
Sapporo.
Japanese breweries.
All right. Austin from Ajax, what do you got?
Some nice water, some nice fresh water.
Oh, my God. God. Well, you can't make concrete without water, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so that's par for the course. So, exciting day. Just Jack here. And we're in Toronto, living in the snow. I don't know if the rest of the country, rest of the world is experiencing the snowfall. I think as Canadians, we're kind of sick of it right now. You would think we love the snow. Wrong stereotype. We hate it. And we're sick of shoveling, but we're ready to consume some football. We'll get into how we did last week, some of the matchups that led us here to the divisional final. And of course, we are live streaming. Tried to make this a pre-scheduled live stream. We'll see how it goes. First time we're doing 3 contestants on here. We'll call it the podcast Hush Push. All efforts in to get across the goal line. So here we go. All right, last week, interesting to say the least. Big matchups, big stories that lead us up to this Saturday and Sunday. Bills Mafia right now is looking for their hero, the legend, the holy grail of quarterbacks, Josh Allen, to lead this team to the Super Bowl. No Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, pathway. There is no excuse now for Josh Allen. He got through the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was the difference. He found 8 to 9 receivers. He was hitting. He was taking off the ball. Got the job done, and that's exactly what you hope. Let's start off with our Bills Mafia guy. What are you wearing there, H. Dilla?
I got the Allen jersey, but it's the Army Edition one that they have. They do that all the time for the veterans, because they're really big on vets out there in America. So got to show the support and the love. Got the black on white trim Bills hat. I wore this last week when they won, so I'm hoping, to be a little superstitious here and hope that it brings a little bit more luck again for this game. And we'll just see how it continues.
Well, Josh Allen is on a mission. He is on a mission. So, Austin from Ajax, what stood out to you with that Bills performance?
I kind of expected them to get the job done. So I want to say, not too much really surprised me. It's more of this week that's the big test, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it was. That was a big matchup. What is scaring me, which will be part of my thought process heading into when we get to the Bills Broncos, is it's all Josh Allen. I mean, this team only goes where Josh Allen's going to take them. So we'll focus on a lot of Josh Allen props and get your thoughts on over-unders. And the only thing that's scaring me, and which did happen in the Jacksonville game, The last couple weeks, there's been risk of injury, right? Josh Allen last week he hit his finger off a lineman's helmet. I mean, he breaks his right finger. The Bills are done, right? It's all on him.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think they're not good enough. The Bills without Josh Allen are not good enough to win. He basically is this team. The difference in this team, the thought of me thinking that they're going to win the Super Bowl because they're my predicted team to win the Super Bowl this year, is the fact that they have the best quarterback. You know, this week, right now, it's the best defense in football against the best quarterback, and I'm putting my chips on the quarterback this week.
Can you really say that the Denver Broncos are the best defense in football after watching the Houston Texans week in and week out the last month or so? You still stick by it?
To be fair, I think you could make an argument on both ends, but personally, I'll choose Denver. And if somebody wants to say Houston's the best, I have nothing wrong with that at all either.
Houston's up there for sure. Denver has been known to have a strong defense for many years. Again, but Houston also played like, the Steelers, right? With a quarterback that should have retired a few years ago. I'm not knocking the guy. He's still a great quarterback, but I think he's already kind of did what he had to have done in his years in the NFL. But yeah, Houston's up there right now. Bills did play well last week, but they could have played better. Jacksonville really beat them up. It wasn't an easy win for them.
No.
I knew they weren't gonna go in and just take the win easily, but they did work a little harder than they anticipated.
They did, and then Josh Allen looks like he's healthy heading into this divisional round matchup. We'll get to that soon. One of the other matchups we had last week, the one that kicked us off on Wild Card Weekend, was the Carolina Panthers hosting the LA Rams. Rams do get the job done, but not covering the spread. I think we both, Austin from Ajax, chose the Carolina Panthers to cover that spread, which they did. They could have outright won that football game. What stands out to me in this one is the Carolina Panthers, same formula. You give them opportunities, their defense will turn a game around, and that's what the Rams did. And I don't understand, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Week 18 decided to play very conservative. They got the win in Week 18, didn't work out for the playoffs, but the Rams didn't take that formula. The Rams, many opportunities to even get themselves up 2 scores, put the Carolina offense in a position they had to come all the way down the field. They didn't do that. Now they had a scare. Really, Bryce Young is not good enough. He's just not good enough. If the Carolina Panthers had an average quarterback, throw in 44-year-old Phillip Rivers in that Carolina offense, I feel that they would have won that football game based how it played out. What were your thoughts? I'll go with Austin Ajax first on this one.
I don't blame the Rams on the game being close. I blame it on the Panthers' crazy season. This was a roller coaster season for the Carolina Panthers. Nobody saw this coming. Everyone kind of thought they were maybe a 3-4 win team at best. And I don't think I think I still hold Los Angeles in high regards, despite this being a close game. And I'm kind of glad that we don't have to deal with picking games for Carolina anymore, because boy, whatever you think, just put an X on the other box, because you really had no idea what's going to happen game to game with that team.
What kind of bet did you have on there, Dilla? Come on, what action did you have? Carolina, LA, did it work out for you?
I took LA to win, and
straight up, or did you have to cover the spread?
And
straight
a couple
up?
of other both teams to score 10, how many field goals and everything like that. But yeah, it was one of those games where you thought, okay, Rams are just going to come in and they're going to show their dominance. They're going to show why they were winners before and why they've always been at the top. But again, it was just one of those games that it did not look well at the start, but then it ended up coming with the win at the end. But I think a lot of these games were like this. I'd say all of last week's games were phenomenal, or they started off kind of slow and then they eventually picked up, right?
Yeah, if you look at what we know, and I think it's no mystery here, is Puka's a beast. Man, he's such a beast. He's is he the best receiver in football, hands down? Would you say?
I mean, it's him or JSN. I think you can go either way on the discussion.
He's getting there. He's still young, though, but he's getting there. I think he will be. But But right now, what he needs to do is, kind of listen to the veterans in the game. Listen to his teammates, and he needs to really think about what he's doing off the field as well.
Off the field is a problem. Yeah.
Personally,
he's
I will
young dummy, right? But
Yep.
but he's good though. But he's very good.
I will say personally, I think he's the best wide receiver in the field, but I think he's a battering ram, so he's one of those guys that's not going to be able to play every week, every season. Where a guy like JSN, I think he will be able to do that. So that's where the argument's kind of hard for me. But when he's on the field, I think he's the best. But I think JSN's able to get the job done without taking those huge hits, which I think makes a big difference.
So to conclude this matchup, we both had us from Ajax. We both had the cover, which was successful. We both had the over, which was a no problem. Player props, Rico Dowdle didn't have the game I thought he would, so I missed out on that over rushing yard total. But the genius that I am did predict that Matthew Stafford would throw at least one INT, which he did, which was good plus money. Very good plus money.
Did I jump in on that one too?
You did. You may have nodded your head. Yeah, maybe. We'll give. Look at that. He's trying to dive in for credit on my value
Every
play.
once in a while, I take the bet with him, so
That's it.
I got to keep up.
Look, when we get to the Bears, I could agree 100% of Dunze's prop. We both were 100%
Okay, that's
in
the one.
agreement.
That's the one I'm thinking of for last.
And speaking of the Packers and Bears, it looked like for 3.5 quarters that the Bears were going to have a nice season, but it was going to end on Wild Card Weekend, and then the comeback happens, and the Packers flip from walking away with the victory in Chicago to now questions if Matt LaFleur, head coach of the Packers, is, should they be re-signing him to a long-term contract? Is his job in jeopardy? What a debacle. I did get the over. I took the Packers, and I looked good for three quarters of the game. Austin from Ajax took the Bears. He's got some sort of faith in the Bears. Like, you have this why do you have this faith? It paid off for you, but you have this faith for the Bears.
Here's the thing. For me, I think the Bears have a legitimate offense. Their defense isn't good, but man, are the Green Bay Packers decimated. To me, the Green Bay Packers, they have three big players. They got Love at quarterback, amazing quarterback. They got Tucker Kraft, who, man, was he a superstar this year before he went down. And then they got Micah Parsons, right?
Yes.
Probably debatably the best defensive player in the football player in the game, if not top three. So the fact that they're missing two of those three guys, I can't expect them to win when they're missing those elite level players. I just can't. And I don't want them to win when they're down those players either. At least the Bears have this very entertaining offense. Their defense is struggles, but they're fun to watch.
Dilla, what stood out to you in that collapse last Saturday night?
With regards to which one? Sorry.
Packers, Bears.
Packers and Bears. I actually had the money line on the Bears. I knew they were going to win the game. I just had a gut feeling to go with them. They've just been, kind of surprising people. And Packers is a good team, but I just thought, you know what? I just don't see them delivering. I don't see them delivering, and it did pay off in the end and stuff like that for me on that one.
Yeah, and they didn't deliver. That's what happened, right? That's why the heat's on Matt LaFleur. But I was surprised to hear the room just turning on Matt LaFleur, that he can't do his job. He's not the best option in Green Bay. I think that's insane. I really do think he's a really good coach, despite the debacle that happened in Chicago. I think he's made Jordan Love a quarterback who's on the rise. I don't think he's peaked yet. And to anybody who could make Malik Willis, from what I've seen in Tennessee when he first kicked off his career, to that last Week 17 matchup against the Ravens, or 16, whatever it was, looking like an NFL starting quarterback, that tells me the skill set that this coach has, and you'd be crazy to let him go. He would be in that category of a coach, if he's on the open market, would have a pick of his he would have any job he wanted, just like the John Harbaughs and Mike Tomlin. So nuts to think about not wanting to sign LaFleur to an extension.
Yeah, completely unfair, despite, he's getting grief. I feel like those injuries need to be taken into account. It wasn't his performance. It was sometimes luck is a factor, injuries are a factor in football. It's a huge part of football, and I think he just got the recoil from that one.
That tells you, man, when these teams trade and pick up late round picks, and they're able to find talent, cheap talent, to fill positions as the season goes on. That's what the Rams have done. That's where they have recovered after the Super Bowl team a few years back because of their success in drafting late and picking up NFL starters. Teams need to do that. That's the reality. It doesn't matter in week 1. It matters in week 18 what you're left with. So good point. Micah Parsons, definitely a big loss and a difference maker that wasn't there to close that game out. All right, so we're going to move on quickly. I'm not going to take too much. Do you have much to say about the Chargers-Patriots? I mean, that was an ugly game, boring as hell. Chargers had nothing going on. Dilla, what was your thoughts on that? I think you were thinking Chargers. Did you put some coin on the Chargers on that one?
Yeah, I did. Right. Not to take away from the Patriots, because I thought the Patriots have been doing really good. May has been phenomenal this season and stuff like that. He's been really delivering on that team. But I was just kind of hoping, for like that underdog kind of win, get that pay, right? But it did not work out for me. And yeah, that was probably one of the most boring games in the whole. And the Houston Steelers one started off that way, but then it turned around,
right,
in the second half. But yeah, it just was not a good game.
No, it was ugly. I don't know, Austin. Do you have anything that you want to add to that other than it was ugly?
Honestly, I got lucky. That was the one game I didn't have a chance to watch.
Good.
So the fact that happened, I was expecting the Patriots to win. I thought that would be the expected result, but yeah, I guess no comments. Just a snooze fest. Just looking at the score, looked like it was a snooze fest. Hearing from you guys, I didn't miss much, so honestly, it makes me happy.
It was a snooze fest. It was also a game where I thought there'd be points scored. So I had a few parlays that had alternate totals, 39.5, or not even the real total, 39.5, and it didn't come close. And it was punt, field goal attempts. It was the same old story with the Chargers. Herbert under duress. That's why they fired Greg Roman, their offensive coordinator, as soon as the season was over. They need to take a different pathway because they're going to waste and piss away a quarterback like Justin Herbert if their offense is not protecting and creative or something, because it's just not working. So won't spend too much time on that one, but we do want to spend time on the last two quickly as we want to get into this week's games. Is the 49ers knock off the Super Bowl champions. Things are not good in Philadelphia. We don't know if that's reality within the locker room, outside, but what do they do with A.J. Brown? Is Jalen, what happened to this offense, man? They just fired their offensive coordinator, but it did not look like an offense that we've seen the last couple of years when, they lose in the Super Bowl and Jalen Hurts could have been an MVP, throwing for 300, 400 yards, whatever it was. And then last year where he gets the job done and is the Super Bowl MVP, just not the same. Doesn't look good in Philadelphia. If we can comment on the game, the 49ers got the job done. But any thoughts? Let's go with Dilla here. What do you think about that game? Where was your money on this one?
Oh, 100%. It was on the 49ers, and it paid off. I knew Eagles weren't going to deliver. Just looking at their earlier games of the season, games that they should have dominated, they lost. Games that you'd think, okay, it's going to be a close one. They would either win well or not so well. But no, I just knew that they were kind of done this season and everything, and it had nothing to do with A.J. Brown or anything like that. It's just one of those things where I'm like, yeah, no, they're not playing very well. So my money was on the 49ers. You can't set McCaffrey. That guy's just
CMC. Yeah, I got the over. I took a parlay with him, total yards over whatever it was. What was it? CMC over 111.5, and he got by that mark. So receiving, rushing, he's a beast. No question.
Is he a receiver or he's a running back? I don't know.
He's everything.
Right? But he's just good. This guy's just awesome.
And Austin from Ajax, when we looked at, you really like the Eagles. You had them paint it into the Super Bowl to take on the Bills. It's come to an end. What are your thoughts about the game, and where do the Eagles go from here?
The Eagles, I feel like they're a team that has the weapons. It just seems like, for some reason there's players on the team that aren't happy. I think it's more of like a bunch of mental challenges for this team. I don't think it comes down to the players or the talent. I just feel like for some reason the players can't mesh well together at this point in time. And hopefully next week, or not next week, this next year they can come back and kind of get that kind of BS out of the way.
Did you see that confrontation between Sirianni and AJ Brown on the sideline?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
I also very crazy. Also, I don't know if you've seen the letter that he left for the rookie. What's his name? Quentin or
AJ Brown did?
Quentin Johnson or
okay?
Yeah, AJ Brown.
Sorry,
he left a letter.
Who left the letter?
AJ Brown.
Okay, I did not hear
AJ Brown
this.
left a letter to the rookie saying like, oh, kind of like good luck with like things, kind of thing. So it's like it looks like he's gone now. It looks like AJ Brown is gone from this team.
Okay, I want a thumbs up or thumbs down to the camera if you think that if you're the Eagles, do you look to move? Like, no question, AJ Brown's when he's on, he's one of the dominant receivers in the NFL. But is the domination worth this drama? Like this stupidity of a letter? Like this goes stupid. So thumbs up, thumbs down. Would you bring him back next year?
Oh wait.
Yeah, but okay. So I think we all agree that no question on the talent, but he's become a head case, and maybe one of the reasons why this offense didn't boom this year. I got to believe that this drama that every star receiver usually goes through. I think he's overbitten his. I think he's what do you call it? Bitten off more than he can chew as far as yapping or drama and attention seeking. He's going to be traded to, let's say, the Raiders or something like that, and he's going to be a thing of the past. And the Eagles will be better for it. That's my opinion.
We don't need another Antonio Brown.
No.
And I also want to say, not a lot of teams would be able to afford getting rid of a guy like A.J. Brown, but Devonta Smith could take a step up.
Yes.
To me, he's always been a guy that had the talent, but he was unable to take it to that next level because with a guy like A.J. Brown on the team, he can't get more production, right? So I think if A.J. Brown leaves this team still has a great chance to, still have a great passing game with Devonta Smith leading
100%.
the way.
100%.
Like if Devonta Smith is your number one receiving option, I don't think that's a bad thing.
So let's get to the final game. I know we touched upon 6 games here. We're on the 6th right now. And we'll kick it off with Dilla because it is offensive when you say to somebody, you know what, you should have retired 2 years ago. That is offensive. So Aaron Rodgers from this podcast should be offended by you saying that no offense, but you should have retired 2 years ago. What do you say to that?
Let's just be honest, though. Like, it hasn't gone in his favor, right?
Just say no offense when you say that. Say no offense first.
No
offense.
You know what? I stand by my words. No.
Okay.
I mean, it's like, it's not knocking the guy. It's just really, I just think that, him coming and wanting to continue to play and trying all these other teams, it just has not paid off, right? This is where I think he should have just, kind of retired already, right? Like his time with the Jets, like he got injured, the whole season's gone, comes back, they don't do well at all whatsoever. Goes with the Steelers now, they make it to the playoffs, wild card, and then they're out already, right? So, I mean, yeah, he made it to the playoffs, but like, where does he think it's going to go, right? It's just, I just don't think it's going to work in his favor, right?
Agreed. And okay, so what did any wages you had on that Monday nighter that paid off, or you were disappointed in?
No. So I expected them to at least score, like 10 or more points, and the game to go over, and it did not, right? But I did have like the money line on Houston. It was just I think it was like a 3 or 4 parlay bet that I had going, and it like just those didn't hit because of that, right?
Yep. Okay, and then Austin from Ajax, what was your take? Any thoughts on that Monday nighter? And is Aaron Rodgers done as an NFL quarterback?
I think that was the last game he's ever played. That game was close up into the end, but man, I think the gas is gone. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that I made a stupid wager because I had nostalgia about watching Aaron Rodgers over the years and enjoying the way he plays quarterback.
Yeah.
To think that he could come up once again with a big performance even though I stated on this podcast 1 week ago that part of his success against Baltimore was the fact that they could not sustain pressure on him, giving him time in the pocket and move the ball around, and he did well, no question. But Houston's defense is so lethal. They're fucking mean, man. They're just mean, lethal, and painful. They hurt people. They hurt people. And they gave him no opportunity to breathe. And the Aaron Rodgers of 4 or 5 years ago would have had a lot more success against this Houston team because he would have been able to quickly move into spaces within the pocket and get those throws off. And now it's like my 2013 vehicle here. Like, it's hard to get the gas going and get it up to 60. It's not 0 to 60 in like seconds. It's in minutes, right? And that's exactly what Aaron Rodgers was. He could not think fast enough to move into a spot with a clean pocket. He could not evade pressure. And he couldn't make those crazy Aaron Rodgers in his primes throws on the run, like, 40, 50 yards downfield. It's just not doable. And he's done, guys. Like, I wish I was wrong on this, but with a league that emphasizes the pressure on the quarterback, you're only going to get a few situations like they did against Baltimore where he's going to have a clean pocket because he got lit up. And we'll talk more about the New England game where I think Drake May will have more success with younger legs and being able to be a little more mobile to get away from that pressure. But it's over. The Steelers had a nice little run, but I mean, if their goal was to just make the playoffs, they met it, right? But this definitely was not a Super Bowl team.
Yep.
And I thought there'd be more points, and the Steelers couldn't put up nothing. Yeah. Kudos to the Texans. They didn't give a shit. They picked Rodgers off later, ran it back for a touchdown. They weren't sliding. They were like, "Fuck you! You're going to turn it over. I'm burning you," and couldn't get the over. But Houston tried. Yep. Pittsburgh just couldn't hold up to the end of the bargain.
I have to ask you guys one more question.
Yeah.
Thoughts of after the game, Tomlin stepping down as head coach?
Let's see what Dilla thinks here. You're good with that?
Listen, in my opinion, they should have never extended his contract. Just my 2 cents, just because they haven't done that. All right, and I mean, I'm just gonna have to say it. He took the bitch way, and he stepped down. He should have taken it like a man and decided to want to stay there, and then they would have fired his ass. But they didn't. So he bitched out.
See, Dilla's really ruthless. Like, he doesn't give a shit about longevity and loyalty. It's like, what have you done for me this quarter? Not even this year.
It's a business. This is a business.
Wow.
We call him Killa Dilla.
Dilla. Imagine Dilla was an NFL team owner. Imagine that. The press conferences we would have about at the end of the season, who to blame. Fuck, that'd be fantastic.
You own the team. You hire your staff to take care of the rest.
Yep.
If you're listening to me, Jerry Jones, take notes. Right? That's what you got to do. You can't be that involved. You hire professionals to do all of that, and that way you can fire them, replace them as much as you want. And you can't really take all the blame. But if you're going to be too hands-on involved, then you got to take the blame, and you can't fire yourself. You're not going to sell the team because you're not doing well, right? So then leave it to the professionals, right? You own, and then you got your other team.
Yeah, and that's why we're not talking about the Cowboys on any playoff podcast, because of that very reason. So what about, did you guys catch the Biscotti, the owner of the Ravens press conference, talking about after moving on from John Harbaugh?
No, I did not actually catch on that.
So this guy's worth $8 billion. He's owned the Ravens for a very long time. He actually owns or founded Aerotech. If you ever heard of like a company that finds workforce talent. So this guy's got some coin, and he's owned the Ravens for a long time. And he had like a Dilla kind of like a press conference talking about the state of the Ravens, state of the head coaching position. They were asking, I heard that you called John Harbaugh in the car and told him that he was fired. And he goes, yeah, I called him. I just said, I know you don't want to, he was very forthcoming on how that conversation went. Asked about Lamar. Is Lamar going to have a say or feedback to provide about the next head coach? He goes, yeah, well, I'll listen to Lamar, but he's got no power. I make the decision, right? That's the right answer, but usually you don't hear an owner state that in a press conference. But this guy was funny as hell. and even asked about. He was told, I guess he wasn't aware that during his press conference, that's when the news broke about Mike Tomlin deciding to step down from the Steelers, and he was asked, "Would you consider Mike Tomlin to come to the Ravens?" And like the answer was pretty cool, like a good answer, and yeah, check it out. Like he's very forthcoming.
What did he say? What I gotta know.
He just made like, oh man, that'd be crazy if John went to Pittsburgh, and he's joking around about it. So it's you wouldn't expect that from a stiff billionaire, but he was actually pretty funny. So it's encourage you to check it out. Tomlin, I'll give you Austin Ajax. Where's he going next, and what do you think's in his future?
Where is he going next? I guess one team that comes to mind could be Miami. I'm not sure where he would go, but obviously he's going somewhere. I personally think he gets a little too much hate. They got to the playoffs this year, and with the pieces that they do have, I kind of think that's like best case scenario. I don't think a Rodgers at 44 years old or 43, 42, however old he is, a Rodgers in his 40s, and Metcalf, don't get me wrong, Metcalf's a great wide receiver, but they don't really have a lot of like pieces to like, hey, this team's good enough for the Super Bowl. So it's like, what did you expect Tomlin to do? The fact that he's gotten you a winning record for 10 straight years, which is insane. He's had a winning record in the NFL for 10, 11 straight seasons. It's like, that's good enough to get on somebody's team. Dolphins will be my pick, but that's just kind of off the top of my head. I'd like to hear your thoughts.
My thoughts are going to be that he's probably going to take a TV job, and he may stay in TV, right? So I got to believe that over the long period of time that Mike Tomlin has been a head coach, 19 seasons, I believe it was, with the Steelers, one Super Bowl, won 2 Super Bowl appearances, that at some point you come to the realization that I've tried to hold on to Ben Roethlisberger way too long until his wheels fell off. I tried trading for Kenny Pickett. I tried drafting Kenny Pickett probably a little further up the draft board than needed because you're kind of desperate for a quarterback. You decided Kenny Pickett wasn't your guy, and eventually, yada, 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 you land on – and you had Russell Wilson trying to patchwork quarterback. Terrible fucking guy, sucks. I know Austin loved him. But we have Kenny Pickett, Russell Wilson, and then obviously I think this is the final shot that – Mike Tomlin was trying to bring in an Aaron Rodgers. I agree with the move. I mean, there's no other choice you had, and you want to see what was left in the tank. You got to the playoffs. But if you're Mike Tomlin, I mean, he knows unless you have a franchise quarterback, you're going to putter along like you just did the last couple of years. So what value would it be for him to stick around? Because the right decision the Steelers need to make is to either position themselves to land a franchise quarterback, which is very hard to find. Who would that be? With what assets you'd have to give up, or decide that for the next few years, I'm going to get an early round pick and try to pick up a franchise quarterback. And why would Mike Tomlin want to sit around for 3 or 4 years to do that?
Yeah,
he's benefit to either go to TV. He also has phone ringing from Miami, from Las Vegas, any team that wants to turn their program around because they would kill for those playoff appearances. Pittsburgh fans are looking for rings. Other teams are looking just to get the sniff of the playoffs. And some of those teams are so far off.
Yeah. One thing to note that this just came back to me, but apparently because he stepped down and wasn't fired, he would actually have to be traded to another team, and he can't just sign for another team. So the thought that he's going into TV is a really good possibility, because the fact that he needs to be traded is kind of like less of a chance that it actually happens, right?
Yep, makes sense. All right, we're gonna move on to this week's action, but before, again, we're gonna hold off. Is just a couple items here. We'll get to concrete facts after we talk quickly, not too long, about the baseball news. Bo Bichette, Toronto Blue Jays. Shortstop, a.k.a. second baseman, a little later on after his injury, has now signed a 4-year contract or 3-year contract. I can't remember what it was, but a more money than I'm making contract to sign with the Mets, who were aiming for Kyle Tucker, who winds up to go with the Los Angeles Dodgers. $60 million a year, which is, I think, stupid. Stupid. Like, Kyle Tucker's a good player, but $60 million?
Yeah. Did you guys see what the Blue Jays offered him?
No, I didn't see that.
The Blue Jays offered him, and I think this is a fair. Like, I think this is what Kyle Tucker is worth.
Okay.
Apparently, they offered him a 10-year, $350 million contract, and I would say he's more worth that than the $60 million a year. Because if the Jays would have paid him $60 million a year, I would have called him crazy. But this is the LA Dodgers.
There's no
right?
team. There's no other team but the Dodgers would do that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, I understand you're paying for his prime years, but boy, is this insane. Like I gotta
Insane.
think. Like I gotta look at this LA Dodgers team and think, man, this is one of the best baseball teams of all time.
And I think his contract has what Shohei's does, and there's a lot of deferral money.
Yeah,
And
he's got a deferral too.
Is that
Seems
what
like a loophole.
Right, but it's like the Dumb and Dumber where they got the briefcase of money and they keep writing IOUs. Right, like the Dodgers are handing over this briefcase. Kyle Tucker's receiving a briefcase of a bunch of IOUs.
Yeah,
That's what he's receiving. So, like Dilla, like the Dodgers, I love the idea of like a dominant beast like team, like soccer does with like Real Madrid and some of the others. What are your thoughts on the Dodgers, who were 1 inch away from losing this World Series at the plate, but look like to be in contention again? It's just insane.
Listen, I was raised in LA till I was 8 years old, right? So I have nothing but love and respect for them and stuff like that. They're a great team. They're coached well. They're not douchey like the Yankees, So
Douchey like the Yankees. There you go.
Yeah, like I like them. I have nothing but love and respect for them. But again, like they're playing the Jays. Hometowns where I'm from now. Got to rep the Jays all the way. It sucked. The better team didn't win. But these guys have just unlimited funds. It's ridiculous, right? They're just paying these guys, so it's hard to compete against a team that has like unlimited funds. But regarding Bo, like I think the Blue Jays really shit the bed, right? Because what they should have done is that they should have like kept their house in order first, and then looked at other players, right? So it's just like, all right, so we're gonna be picking up these guys. Let's focus on Bo first. Give him a real good offer. Now, if Bo was at a point where he's like, you know what, man, I want to try elsewhere, or I want a little bit more money or something, he should have maybe voiced it. If he did, he did it. I don't know. I'm not privy to these things, right? But, I mean, him going to the Mets, like, they're not a big contender like all these other teams, right? So he got a great deal with them, yeah, financially, but are we going to be hearing about him getting rings in the next couple of years? Probably not, right? So that's where, he should have thought about it like, hey, I have a better chance with the Chiefs, right? I got great rapport with them. And then after they got him, then they could have started focusing on all these other players, to bring in, and how do we complement the team? Where do we expand, right? Where can we improve, right? We need more pitchers, we need these sort of other things, right? But that's just my take on it, right? I'm sad to see him go. I wish he would have stayed, but it comes down to business, right? He's looking at what's gonna better interest him, and if it was the money, he got the money, but he's not gonna get the ring. Yeah, that's just my take. I don't know about you guys.
I guess the only thing I will say there is I'm wondering if Bo Bichette going to the Mets makes them the second best team in baseball. That's the question that I have. Because here's the three hitters that scare me: Francisco Lindor, Bo Bichette, and Juan Soto. Those guys are no joke. 1, 2, 3. That that stacks up against the Dodgers. But after that, obviously they're nowhere close to the Dodgers. But just those three hitters after the Dodgers, could this be the second best team? I'm not really up to date on the Mets pitching situation. Obviously, I'm assuming it's not as good as the Jays, but I think the Mets, this Bo Bichette, I hold him in high regard, so I'm thinking maybe Mets could be the second best team right now. But man, it's hard to be a good team in baseball because the Dodgers are just on another level.
Well, and I'm just happy he didn't go to the Yankees, though.
Well, I thought that's where he was going to go.
I'm happy he didn't go to the Yankees.
Yeah.
Here's the trend that is new, I think. And you talked about Kyle Tucker and the contract that the Blue Jays offered him, length and time, right? Like time and length. But there's a few ball clubs out there, and the Mets are one of them, where they're going to say, fuck that. I'll give you a 3-year contract. You're going to make 42 million or whatever it is, Bo, for 3 years, and you'll be right back there on the free agent market. How are you going to turn that down? You're not.
Yeah, I know.
The Blue Jays aren't interested.
You're betting on yourself.
You're betting on yourself, but you already pocketed like $100 and some million in a 3-year time span. The odds are that you're going to make bank on, year 4, you're going into another contract. Yeah. But why would you want to be stuck for 10 years somewhere? Yeah. You have options. It's insane because now the Mets, the Dodgers, that's what's going to happen. They're going to say, I'm going to pay you $60 million for a short period of time. And then who's going to be able to match that? The Blue Jays are going to offer you $30 million over 10 years.
Yeah.
You can't compete with that. But at the end of the day, most of the time the Mets are shit on as far as the free agents they sign. But the 3 guys you talked about, Lindor, they're going to lose Alonso. I think, who did he sign with Baltimore? I think, was it? I believe Alonso left. And they got, what's his name? Former Yankee, Padre, Washington National. You just mentioned him. What's Mets? Top player.
Juan Soto?
Juan Soto, yes. He's going to have a breakout year. He's that good. The Mets they're finding quality players. And Bo Bichette, to me, should have been the hottest free agent because he puts the bat on the ball, a lot of hits, and this is where baseball is going. I'm telling you right now, the Blue Jays have changed the outlook of a lot of teams in baseball that, oh shit, we don't want to swing for the fences on 2 strikes. We don't want to have 8 million strikeouts. We don't want to put the ball in play. We don't want to steal bases. We don't want to make contact. Oh, they were 1 inch away from a World Series win over the $500 million payroll Dodgers. Well, that's a team that the Blue Jays show by putting the ball in play. It's more appealing on the eyes, and it's successful. And that's where the Bo Bichette signing is going to be, I think, of value to the Mets and other teams looking for players like Bo Bichette that put the bat on the ball. So those are the 2 signings that popped out in baseball. But we got to we're already 41 minutes in, and you jokers can't stop talking, right? It's we got to get to the 4 games that are going to decide our NFC and AFC championship. But before we do, Dilla, do you need to run to the fridge and grab another beer?
No.
If so, go for it now.
The lady from upstairs hooked me up.
Wow.
So I already got one.
Wow.
What about the guy from downstairs? Just got to look over to his right shoulder and open his own fridge.
I wasn't that lucky. The laptop's not that close.
God. Okay. So we're going to head into big matchup here. Like, how excited are you for the Bills Mafia? I know, Dilla, you've been a supporter for – is it more Bills or Josh Allen? How would you categorize it? Because I was, again, a Brady fan more than a Patriots fan. That's how I looked at it. Do you look at it kind of the same way?
Yeah, it's a Josh Allen fan over the Bills. So when Brady was with the Patriots, I always had nothing but love and respect for the Bills. I always, considered them the underdog team to the Patriots sort of thing. So it was like, well, as long as the Patriots and the Bills do good, then I'm happy, but it was kind of contradictory. But it was always just because of Brady, right? But now it's just all about Josh Allen. I love the Bills. I love Josh Allen. Man, I can only hope for the best. One thing I was saying earlier was to a buddy of mine was, I hope people don't look at this season as because, Casey's not in. That's the only reason why they potentially made it that far, because they did beat them during the regular season, right? But I would have still loved to have seen Casey be in this so they can finally spank them where they've been spanked before plenty of times, right? Just take them out in this kind of caliber of a game, right? So that's what I would have loved to have seen, to kind of get that love from those haters, because I know people are going to be like, well, the only reason why they made it, this far is because of Casey not being there, Mahomes wasn't there and all that stuff, right? But I just I'm just hoping for this win, and then we'll go to the next one, right? I'm not saying this is like other people, like this has to be the year. This every year they have a chance, and just things don't necessarily work out in their favor in the end. And it's always been something so simple, like a simple mistake, a stupid field goal, like these stupid overtime rules, right? So it's never like they went and they got destroyed, right? And that's the one thing that you got to respect about the Bills, right? And Josh Allen's just a phenomenal quarterback, and I think he's just going to do well, and that's all I can hope for.
Scale of 1 to 10. We got 2 hours, just over 2 hours to kick off. Mm-hmm. How would you rate your excitement to get this thing going?
Well, like I told you earlier, I bought a table because I am going to jump on it. And
there you go.
I'm going to no, I'm joking. I wish. I'm joking. I'm not gonna do it. I kept making jokes that I bought a table that I was gonna jump on today and show my Bills Mafia.
What's the
support.
proper etiquette? Maybe we should have got some film on the tailgate party around Buffalo. I'm sure there's many of them. What's the proper etiquette to go through a table? Does it have to be flaming, but fire going?
No, no.
Okay. Is it
No,
a
no, 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 no.
swanton? Like, is it feet first? Like, what is the proper etiquette to go through a table?
Forgive me, I don't know the wrestling terms, but like when they jump off in the air. And
Oh,
they
the
go
elbow,
like this,
flying elbow, like a macho man.
Yeah, they
Okay.
do that a lot. I've actually never seen it on fire. I've never seen it at a table. From all the clips that I've ever seen online, people sharing or on Reddit or anything, it's always been that. So they've never actually had it on fire or anything like that. And it's just anyone jumping in and everyone just gets excited. At the end of the day, they just want to see the table break. I didn't know it was a thing. And then I don't know if you noticed that commercial when they were like baptizing all the new Bills Mafia babies.
Yes,
that,
yes,
the
it's actually
parents.
pretty funny. The baby going
And
through
they're
his
just
little
putting
table.
them down and they're like,
Yes.
I bless you with the Bills Mafia.
Yeah,
And they're breaking the little
McDermott,
tables.
yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's that's awesome. Like, it's just so good, right?
All right.
They have their little, traditions and stuff like that to show who you are, but never seen it on fire.
Okay. Even though
I'll
you're
go
not
with
willing, even though you're not willing to go through this table, if they win today, if the Bills win the Super Bowl, will you go through this table?
Oh, there's a
Would I
challenge.
go through the table?
Will you go through a table if the Bills are Super Bowl
Live-
champions?
Live on the Overrated Experience.
Live,
I'd
yeah.
have to. I'd have to.
Okay.
I would. Yeah.
Lock
yeah.
it in.
Locked and loaded. Yeah.
It's on record.
Oh yeah. No.
Okay, we'll support it.
It's in the cloud
My word
now.
is bond. If they win,
It's in the cloud. There you go.
Bowl, I will actually jump on a table. I hope I don't hurt myself, but I will do it. I will do it.
All right, we're locked into
Locked
Adila elbow through a table on film if the Bills wind up with the Lombardi Trophy. We'll look forward to it. We'll make it a summer event. We'll look at some nice weather for you, or maybe we'll make it a week after and maybe some harsh weather. Maybe you get the protection of the snow. And maybe shirts have to be off. I'm just saying, tarps off.
Tarps off. Okay, I gotta work on my.
I think that was implied.
All right, so let's get to the nitty gritty here, and let's stick with our Bills Mafia guy. Is the Bills were once favorites heading into this matchup, and now the line has flipped. The Broncos are now 1.5 point favorites, and the over/under is 46.5. The goal here, Dilla, is to pick your side, and if it's an over/under, what do you think? I gotta believe Bills. It'd be really different if you thought otherwise.
I don't think the game's gonna go over the 46 that they're projecting, or at least what I saw on Bet.
I got 45
and FanDuel.
Okay, you had 46, and what did you see on? So you had 46 on Bet365.
Yeah.
FanDuel, you said 45, right?
Yeah,
45 and a half on
FanDuel.
FanDuel for me.
Okay, so
Yeah.
does your opinion change because of the different over-unders, or you're still going to stick with the under?
Well, I would change it, but so hang on. Are we just talking in general, like what I would bet right now, or do I see it
Right
going
now,
over the 46?
you had to take a call against 46.5. What would you take, over/under? It sounds like you got the under.
I think it would be the under. I just don't see this game. They're not like they're gonna take chances, but they're not gonna take that many chances, right? Especially with like Denver right now. They had a bye week. They have a strong defensive team and everything, right? So they're gonna want to play it safe. So it's probably gonna start off slow. And then you'll notice that in the third, fourth quarters when they're going to start lining things up. And then obviously there's so much time that they can do this. So this is what I'm thinking. I think it's going to be over, but, Bills all the way.
All right, so we got Hurson on the bill. Now, I'm going to keep advertising. You bettors out there, make sure that obviously you're betting safely, and this is an entertainment podcast at best, is that you have multiple books let's say Dilla was thinking, hey, I like this number of 46, but this 46.5 is going to leave me thinking under. But if it was 45.5, I think over. If you have multiple books, you have those options. Those differences do exist. So it's very important to have multiple books to kind of make your best decision. If Dilla did not like, if he likes the under, of 46.5. He's not going to take it at 45.5. He'd rather choose the 46, put himself in a little more favorable position. So just want to shout that out. And then Ostrom Ajax, what do we got here?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to go a little crazy with this one.
Whoa!
I think, whoa!
This guy
I
drinking
think this
water.
one-
It's not even crazy.
I think the Bills, doesn't matter that Denver's the best team or defense in the league. Doesn't matter. Bills are dropping 30 points on them.
Oh, 30 points on the Broncos?
Okay.
And the
What are
Broncos,
you, mile
okay,
high?
But here's the
I'm
thing.
just
Here's the thing. I think Denver takes the lead early on in the game. 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. And I think the
Whoa.
Bills got to respond, and I think they don't stop.
Holy shit, is there a
So-
carbon
so
leak
give me-
down there? A carbon dioxide leak in the basement?
So
What's
give
going
me
on?
Buffalo. Give me Josh Allen. Give me the over. Give me the money.
Oh, okay, I'll take the over as
I
well.
like it. I like it.
I'll take the Bills. We'll ride the Bills.
What's up? I like it.
All right, we'll take the Bills. I also took the Bills at Moneyline and FanDuel when it was even money at Moneyline. I don't mean Dill discussed that earlier. Some books are putting it minus 105, 104, whatever it is. But I jumped on that early in case it did change. So if FanDuel, I believe, I don't know if it still is at even money.
It was
For
at
the
plus
Bills straight up?
100 not too long ago. Yeah.
Okay.
For the
Here's
Bills
what I
fans,
want to do.
it's
We got to make
dead
this
even.
quick, okay? Because this podcast is running long, and but I had a bunch of Josh Allen over because it's on his shoulders right now, right? Okay, quickly. Passing over 209.5. Yeah,
Over.
yay or nay?
Over.
I think over.
Okay, I'm gonna say over as well. TD passes over 1.5 plus 158.
Over.
Over.
I'm gonna say over. Pass completions over set. Am I reading that right? It's 19.5.
Over.
Yeah, I do over.
Jesus Christ. I'm gonna say yes. Most passing yards. So between him and
Bo next.
yeah, what? Knicks. Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Who is he gonna yay or nay have more than Knicks?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Oh man, this is a pro Josh. I'm gonna do it too. Pass plus rushing yards for Josh Allen is over 251.5 yards. So add his passing and add his rushing yards over
Yeah,
251.5 yards.
Over.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is why we call it the overrated experience, baby, right here. All overs. And last but not least, yay or nay to an interception. Does Josh Allen throw at least one interception?
1.
Yeah.
It
But
just
it
has
won't
to
be his
one.
fault. It won't be his fault.
We can't stop being a Josh Allen
No,
protector.
because I always say
apologize.
this. I hate how they call these interceptions where you throw it, it hits the guy's chest and then the guy just happens to catch it, on the defensive
is,
team.
but
And
it counts.
No, I know it counts, but that's not an interception. To me, a clean interception is you throw the ball and then the guy just, defensive guy just gets it and that's it, right?
All right.
That is a clean interception.
Last
I don't
one.
see that happening. I see it being some sort of like fluke situation.
Okay, last one for Josh Allen. Minus 120, anytime touchdown for Josh Allen.
Oh, 100%.
Awesome.
I think he's going to be the first one to score, actually.
You know what? Yeah, sure. Give it to me.
I'm going to say yes. Okay. All yeses. You guys would be easy dates out there for all yeses. All right, there we go. All right, moving on. So Bills Mafia is put to bed. We know what we're going to happen here. We predicted it. We're going to see what happens at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. And now we get into the late night game. A repeat of Week 18. The San Francisco 49ers this time travel to Seattle. Seattle is a 7-point favorite off a smashing, an absolute smashing of the 49ers in Week 18. So -7 Seattle, 44.5. This will take us into our Saturday night. 16 beers in, watching this matchup. Got some bets going. Austin Ajax will kick it off with you. It's your boy, Sam Darnold. He's your boy.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we got here? Do they cover? Do they not cover? What's going on?
So here's the thing with me betting on these games is the biggest question mark for this game is Sam Darnold's health. Up until recently,
Yep.
we didn't know if he
Questionable
was going to be.
oblique.
Yeah, his oblique, exactly, yes. His oblique is injured, and personally, I don't know how much that's going to affect him. You know that everyone that listens to this podcast knows I'm a big Sam Darnold fan, so I think him being injured has a big impact on this game. I think Seattle wins, but I do think 7 points is a lot of points when you got weapons like Christian McCaffrey on your team. So even though I think Seattle's going to win, I'm going to take I'm going to take San Francisco +7. I might even make a teaser of them going like +9, +10, something like that. Maybe even 10.5 with something else. Maybe parlay it with the over here because I'm taking the over too. And I think, because of the question marks in the game with Sam Darnold's health, which, big fan, Filet-O-Fish.
He's your Filet-O-Fish guy. Yep.
Give me the +7.
+7. All right. So Dilla, what do you got here? Even will you be conscious after if the Bills win? Would you even make this game? Let's call it out for what it is.
Well, I hope you can show me this video after they win. All right, but I'm taking San Francisco.
Yeah,
San Fran all the way. I think they're gonna upset Seattle. They're gonna win. Game's gonna go over, and I would even say that Seattle will lose by +7.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. We have Austin follow the spread. He's going to take it, but feels that Seattle's going to win. You think that the 49ers are going to outright win and also smash the Seahawks.
Wow.
So we have like a kind of a rebuttal smashing because they got smashed and CMC could not get nothing going. The Seattle defense was lights out. Just Brock Purdy had no time to throw the ball. It was a serious ass whipping in that Week 18 game. But I do agree. The fact is, I think 7 points is too much for a team that you just seen 2 weeks ago. And I think Kyle Shanahan is a good enough coach to make the alternate changes. And this is despite with Kittle being gone, right? Kittle's not going to be there. He's not going to be that weapon. But I'll take the same as you guys. I'll take the over as well. Sorry, Dylan, did you say the over or the under 44.5 points in this game?
Over.
Okay, we'll all stick together here. We're all on. Okay, I got a few more props to go your way in this game. CMC, Christian McCaffrey, rushing and receiving yards over 115.5. Yay or nay?
Yay.
Seattle's got a pretty good defense. It's tough, but I'll take the over on that.
Okay.
CMC though.
But I think it's going to be right around that number.
Okay, so JSN for Seattle, the wide receiver in Jigba, receiving yards over 94.5.
For JSN?
JSN.
Give me the under.
Wow.
I don't know too much on this guy to comment.
This is where you guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Austin's advice and go under on this one.
All right, so Juwan Jennings, wide receiver, the 49ers, over 40.5 yards. I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over. Yeah.
Okay. Kenneth Walker, running back for the Seattle Seahawks, over 57.5 rushing yards.
Under.
I take the over in this one.
I will take the over as well. Sammy Darnold, Filet-O-Fish, passing yards over 231.5. What say you? Over, under? Under. Whoa, Dale's going under.
You know what? Even with the give me the over.
Whoa.
Yeah, but then it contradicts the JSN. What was the JSN 98.5?
It was JSN was 94.5.
All right, give me the over for JSN too.
Oh,
I'm
man,
sorry.
you
Gotta
just
go back.
can't stick with what you're doing. Oh my god. Okay.
That water's getting to you,
And
buddy.
I think Herson will change his because he followed you. I'll tell you right now, here's a good value play for anybody out there. Right now, mark this down. If JSN for the Seahawks has a small amount of receiving yards in the first half, bank on that he'll have a big second half. He seems to always have 80, 90, 100 yards receiving, regardless if that first half is slow. So if he is limited in the first half, make sure you put eyes on that second half receiving total for Njigba for the Seahawks because he usually is money when it comes to the second half. All right. That is awesome. We're going in 2 games left. Man, we're talking a lot. Or at least you two are. Just kidding. Houston taking on New England now. Noteworthy. 2 things. Nico Collins is out, wide receiver for the Houston Texans, concussion. Also, expected snow in this game. A couple inches of snow will affect this matchup. So The New England Patriots come in as a 3-point favorite. The over-under is 40. What is the over-under? Did I write that down wrong? It's just 40 and a half?
40 and a half.
40 and a half. I thought that was wrong. Okay, 40 and a half. All right. Dilla, what do you got? What do you think? Can the Patriots close this out? What do you think?
Texans upset under.
You're going with the Texans.
Yeah.
Holy potatoes. And
Again,
under.
I think Patriots have been playing great. May's been phenomenal. They are playing at home, but they're just gonna upset, and they're gonna stop their game, and they're gonna win, and it's gonna be under. It's not gonna be a high scoring game for sure.
It's going to be a boring kind of game like we've seen.
I'd probably see a lot of action, but yeah, it might be a little boring.
Okay.
Me?
Cue Austin from Ajax.
I actually think, the game that I want to see more than anything in the world is Buffalo versus New England. That's the game I want to see next week. That's the game. That's kind of how I think it's going to play out, because that will be the game of the year. So give me New England minus 3.5. I do think it'll be close. And then, it's a very low total. So I'm going to take the over 40.5.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm going to take the over.
Okay, I'm going to take the over because I'm a sucker for overs, and I don't have anything to tell you. Here's what I think why the Patriots will win this game and cover the 3. I believe that the Houston Texans are the best defense in football, lights out. However, what I will say is that even the Pittsburgh Steelers, there were a couple drop passes, DK Metcalf being one, that was a big play that would have kept the drive alive for the Steelers. The inability for Aaron Rodgers to be able to use his legs to buy some time and maybe make some plays was another. And then, so I look at the Patriots, and I got to believe that Drake May, being a second-year quarterback, young guy, can use his legs, will still feel pressure. He'll get smoked a couple times, 4 or 5 sacks, but there will be a couple times where he makes some big plays on the run or buy time, which I think will be the difference, because I think if you haven't watched C.J. Stroud in this offense for Houston, they've struggled. They've turned the ball over. They were the only reason why they gave Pittsburgh a chance last week. They kept turning the ball over, whether it be the offensive line with bad snaps, C.J. Stroud making bad decisions. They were almost handing that game over to Pittsburgh until the second half. Pittsburgh had no business being in that game. But I think the Patriots are another level offensively. I think Vrabel's smart enough to maximize what they've seen as far as the Houston defensive flaws. I'm going to say it's over, but I mean, it could very well be an under. But I think the Patriots do win and capitalize on those mistakes that Pittsburgh couldn't from C.J. Stroud. So that's how I see it playing out. Patriots, Bills, next week. Who are the kings of the AFC East? That's what's going to happen, and who's going to go to the Super Bowl. All right, last game, Sunday nighter. We have the Los Angeles Rams head into Chicago to take on Austin's Bears, right? He's honestly, next week, if they win, I want you holding a teddy bear with you as you do this podcast, okay? Or
Deal.
a jar of peanut butter with the 2 damn bears on it. That's what I want.
One or the other.
So the Bears, the only home team in the divisional matchup out of the 4 matchups that are underdogs. They're 3.5-point underdogs to the Rams. I don't think that's a shock, deservedly so. Rams are the better team. So 48.5, high total. Weather is also going to be an issue. I think it's going to be a little bit of snow, but not as much as New England. So I don't know if snow is going to be a factor. But we've seen that the Rams in poor conditions last year in Philadelphia almost upset the Eagles. So they look like they can play. Austin Ajax, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
You already know what I'm going with. Give me the Bears.
The Bears.
3.5. And you know what? Give me the over too. 48.5. We're gonna have to end the weekend. We're gonna have a 50-point game. And the Bears, it's gonna be a close one, but the Bears are gonna get it done by a touchdown.
Okay, Dilla,
6
what are your
points.
thoughts? What are your thoughts?
I'm actually gonna put the money on the Bears and under. I do think that Rams might win it, but I mean, I have a gut feeling that Bears is just gonna come and just, they're gonna show up. They're gonna show up. They're gonna stop the Rams, and they're gonna win. And I'm gonna be happy with my money.
Okay. I got to believe that the scare that the Rams needed to kind of get their, full focus on this playoff run happened last week against Carolina because they could have lost that game. They didn't. They found a way to win. And that's a wake-up call. I think Sean McVay is a good enough coach. He's one of the best coaches in the NFL that will overcome what the Bears have done. So I think they'll win. I think they'll win by a touchdown. So give me the Rams. I'm going to take the over because it's an overrated experience. I'm going to go with the over. But I think the Rams get it done, and we'll see them in the NFC Championship, most likely taking on the 49ers. That's what I think. That's what I think we're going to go. And that's a matchup we want to see. Okay? I don't think anybody wants to see like a Seattle-Denver Super Bowl. I can't see that being appealing.
Seattle Bears?
What? Seattle, you want what? Say it again.
Sorry, Seattle Bears?
In the Super Bowl?
Oh, no. Next week.
Oh, yeah. Well, you could.
Yeah.
I guess that'd be okay. I guess that'd be okay.
I'd like that.
Well,
but at the end of the day, I know making this pick here, me and Herson making this pick, we got insurance. We got those 3.5 points. So even if we lose by a field goal, we still win our bet.
All right. So player props, just to end this off here. Matthew Stafford over 263.5 passing yards. Yay or nay?
Nay.
Sorry, what's that number?
263.5.
Nay.
Nay for
I think over. I think both quarterbacks have around that number.
I'm gonna say nay. You say yay. Okay.
I did say it was going to be a 50-point game, so I gotta stay consistent.
All right, and then Caleb Williams over 217.5.
Yeah, give me that one for sure. I like that bet a lot more.
Duh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he'll actually have more than Stafford.
Puka 97.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a big offensive game.
Okay. Okay, here, I'm telling you, here's the play of the year. Here's the play of the year, okay? Is it Trevor or Tyler Ferguson, the tight end for the Rams? Let's look this up. I want to be very clear to the audience out here of exactly what they're stepping into.
Right?
For the Rams, tight end.
I think... Here, let me find out for you.
No, I'm going to get it. I just want to make it very clear because I can't believe my eyes when I'm seeing this. It's receiving... okay. Terrence Ferguson, tight end.
Terrence Ferguson. Oh.
So his over-under right now is 7.5 yards. 7.5. Do you want me to tell you his last two games?
Sure.
So against Carolina, maybe I'm wrong. Never mind. Scrap that. What the hell? Okay, never mind. He was lying. I thought I had something here. I thought I had something. Let me just go back. I apologize, fans out there. I thought I had like one of those moments where you found opportunity, and I'm just getting squashed here. So, nah, never mind. Forget what I said. I'm going to cross that off as an option. Thought I had something, but live on the air, it's dead. All right, Devontae Adams, minus 120. Will he score a touchdown? He's Mr. Touchdown. Puka sets him up?
No.
No?
He won't score a touchdown. No.
I'll say yes.
It could happen. It could happen.
I can see him getting to like the red zone and stuff,
won't
but
bet.
then it'll be Nicole. Yeah.
I think
Okay.
it's 50-50.
So
I would want even money.
But what are you picking?
I'm not going to take it because I
It's
like
just
even money.
part of the podcast.
No, I'm not taking it.
You can't refuse to make a pick.
Wait, what? You
It's for
said
the
you like
audience.
Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
No, I said I don't like it. No.
So no. So the answer is no.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were like refusing to actually make a pick.
No. I was saying I was saying no. I don't like the pick.
Sorry, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I refuse
like-
to answer.
I refuse to answer. Like, guys.
Like I meant like no. I'm not taking that back.
I know there's no right to remain silent here on this podcast. All right, so that leads us to the end of the 4 matchups in the divisional round. Austin from Ajax, I think you got the line about Super Bowl odds right now. Can you share that with us? We probably should have done that
yeah.
before the pick split.
Do you mind if I break up this with my?
Oh yeah, concrete fact, please.
concrete
We need a
fact?
concrete fact. Yeah.
Okay, so the fun concrete fact of the week that concrete companies are actually experimenting with scented concrete. So I don't really. Hey, that's the fact for the week. I don't really have the details surrounding it, But
That'll be next
concrete
week's
companies
episode.
are experimenting with scented concrete, such as
Really?
vanilla. Yeah,
Ooh,
such as vanilla.
I
That's
like
one
Is
of
yours?
No, no.
No?
I don't know if this is in Dubai or where it is, but it seems pretty fancy.
Vanilla would be
But
freaking
anyways,
good, man.
yes. But anyways, Super Bowl odds. I have them in front of me now.
Okay.
So the Super Bowl favorite. Actually, you know what? You've tested me. Now I'd like to test the two of you. Can you guys give me the top 3 favorites? Starting with number 1. Can you guess who number 1 is?
I gotta imagine Seattle.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Followed by the Rams.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and then we go AFC. I got Denver's probably there.
Nope, Denver's not there for 3, but
Buffalo?
very good for number 1 too. Nope, not Buffalo.
New England, really?
New England's number 3. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
And number
there it is.
4. And number 4. San
We got the
Francisco.
Buffalo Bills. We got the Buffalo
The
Bills
Bills.
at 600 at 4. We got the Denver Broncos at plus 750 at 5, and we got the Houston Texans at 950 at 6.
Do you think that's the right order? What do you think?
I think the Bills should be number 2 at least. I like Seattle, but I mean the injury this week really I think is that it should hurt their odds a little more than it's showing.
I
Like
don't
how
think
bad
he's
is his oblique? He almost
Right.
sat.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well-
I really don't know there's just so much question marks around my thought process, that it's hard to say.
I think we lost Dilla.
Yeah.
He's gone.
He may be getting another beer.
He could, but I think he is down and out. But anyway, we're going on an hour and 11 minutes, and I think we should probably end it from here. Any closing thoughts, us from Ajax?
No, just as always, bet responsibly, bet what you guys can handle, and I hope you guys have fun watching some playoff football this Saturday.
Yes, I'm hoping jacked up for 4:30 to kick us off, and we go into tomorrow. And we'll have 2 other games, and the college football championship concludes on Monday as well in Miami. The actual Hurricanes will host the Indiana Hoosiers. Hoosiers are a favorite, so we'll see what happens there. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Pleasure is all yours. I wish we could say goodbye on Dilla's behalf, but the overrated experience is over and out.
Austin from Ajax, out.
Goodbye, everybody. Oh, Dilla.
wait.
What happened here?
Sorry, I
Where'd you
had
go?
to take a last minute whiz and get another beer. So,
Oh, my God. We're just saying goodbye.
so I rushed for nothing.
Any any thoughts to close it out? Give us any same game parlays that you've put on the board so far.
Definitely Bills winning. Allen scoring a touchdown, over 38.5, and at least 2 field goals.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. So let's do this again, Austin. The overrated experience is over and out.
Austin from Ajax, out.
All right. Bye, everybody. Check you
Take
again
care,
next
guys.
week. Bye-bye.